Hi, everybody. My name is Aidan Burdick, and I'm a second-year PhD student in Yarrow Axford's lab. And today I'm going to be talking about how we're trying to understand the impacts of the Younger Dryas event on the Midwest. So just to orient you in geologic time and space, the Younger Dryas was a cold reversal that affected the North Atlantic region and has been most readily observed in North Greenland, the North Greenland Ice Project. So it's this negative oxygen isotope anomaly that's associated with cooling temperatures between 12,900 and 11,700 years ago. And so we're interested in understanding the impacts of this event more locally in the American Midwest. So the two main areas that we're trying to understand are temperature and hydroclimate shifts that might have been associated with this event. And sort of the existing gap is that almost all of our knowledge about Younger Dryas temperature change is derived from pollen assemblages, which are represented by these squares you can see in the figure on the left. And these are hampered because they don't have any modern analogs during the Younger Dryas, which means they're very difficult to extract paleo-environmental information from. And so one of our primary goals is to determine the magnitude of Younger Dryas temperature cooling and the amount of warming that occurred at the end of event into the early Holocene by using chironomid species assemblages, which have not yet been applied to really anywhere in the mid-continent. And this should provide independent validations of these existing pollen records that leave a lot of uncertainty. So this review paper sort of estimates somewhere between 1 and 7 degrees of Celsius of cooling, which would have very different climatic implications depending on where in that range you're landing. The other thing that we're interested in trying to understand is if there was a complementary hydroclimate shift that sort of matched up with these temperature changes. And the existing literature is both sparse and ambiguous as to what the nature of hydroclimate change was. So these are all the records that I've been able to find in the last year that sort of contain Younger Dryas age sediments and analyze hydroclimate. And you can sort of see with the green and the brown dots that there's some ambiguity in the sort of overall signal that we'd like to deconvolve. And a lot of these are also based off of pollen, which is, again, a problem because of the analog nature. So we're hoping to use oxygen isotopes from lake sediments here in northern Illinois to try to estimate the precipitation evaporation ratio and then see how that compares with the measured temperature change that we get from the chironomid records. So this summer, I've been sort of steadily working on trying to get some preliminary data on modern lake hydrology by measuring oxygen and hydrogen isotopes to try to set up an interpretive framework for oxygen isotope records because they respond to multiple different variables. Also developing a radiocarbon chronology from an existing core that we have from Hastings Lake about an hour away from here. And then sort of other things that I did this summer were I was a mentor for the NU Geopaths program, and I took part in the South Greenland field season where I got a lot of valuable field and coring practice. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah, Trish.
Are you going to move to incorporate dendrochronology records and speleothem records to expand the Younger Dryas details in your pattern? Or is that ruled out in this case?
It's not ruled out. There are a couple of speleothem records that exist from further afield. The only one that I'm really aware of is in Missouri. But I think they're useful because you could get an oxygen isotope record from the speleothems that would complement the lake sediments. So I'm not sure if that's in my direct line of future research, but I think it would be relevant. And as far as dendrochronology, I've not seen anyone try to go after the Younger Dryas with dendrochronology thus far, but I think it's an interesting idea.